I recently ran the Boston Marathon. Do you know that they had an official mascot, Spencer, a golden retriever, who unfortunately died last year of cancer? Here's what I learned from Spencer. Are you looking to learn more about natural pet health and wellness? You've come to the right place. Click the link to subscribe to Veterinary Secrets. As you may or may not know, aside from being a YouTuber, making videos like these, I'm also a runner. One of my big running goals, it was to get into the Boston Marathon and actually run a Boston Marathon. But it's a real hard thing to do. First, you need to qualify for the Boston Marathon. You need to run a certain time in a qualifying marathon. And then when you achieve that time, you submit an application. And if you are fast enough and you've reached a certain cutoff point, then you can actually enter the Boston Marathon. I ran a marathon about 1.5 years ago. I was able to reach a qualifying time, submit an application. I made the cutoff time. And yes, just April 15th, 2024, I ran the Boston Marathon. But the Boston Marathon, it is so much more than how fast you can run a marathon. It has so much meaning for so many people. You know, it's an experience that I've just never had anything close to that at all ever in my life. They even had an official Boston Marathon dog, Spencer, a golden retriever. Spencer unfortunately died last year at the age of 13. He died of liver cancer. But for nearly 10 years, throughout the entire marathon, he sat there with the Boston Strong flag in his mouth. So he's sitting there on the side of the road holding that flag for the entire course of the marathon, for hours and hours. He was there to watch the first fast runners come through, and then he sat there for the entire length of the marathon. So hours and hours have gone by before every single runner who was on that course went by him. I mean, there he was, this symbol of like strength, resilience. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to make sure every one of you goes by. Spencer was a trained therapy dog. So he was visiting hospitals, helping people in need. And then there he was at each Boston Marathon for years. You could know you're going to go by mile 3. And there was going to be Spencer.
Thank you so much.
And his owners said that Spencer, he really epitomized what the Boston Marathon about. It's about like overcoming obstacles, just doing the best you can. Obviously, a dog like Spencer has a lot he can teach us. Spencer's owners, they acquired a second dog. Her name was Penny. She just so happened to be a niece of Spencer. He was 13, she was 10. A little over a week after Spencer died, Penny died as well too. She died of hemangiosarcoma, another type of cancer. And that's the same type of cancer that my first dog in practice, Hoochie, he died of. So many people were impacted by Spencer and by his death. While we were there in Boston prior to the marathon, there actually was a big golden retriever meetup in the Boston Common, a big green space near the finish of the marathon with hundreds of golden retrievers. They were all there honoring Spencer and at the same time raising awareness and raising funds for canine cancer. Boston was a great city to visit. We just felt so welcome being there. And there are so many dogs. I met one of the local dog walkers. Her name was Margaret. And she was walking Chicky and Bella. Who's a dog.
Hi!
Margaret's a dog walker. She has...
Beacon Hill dogs.
And these are 2 of her dogs. Are these your dogs?
No, they're staying with you for the weekend.
Okay,
Yes.
These are 2 dogs. And so this is...
Chicky.
You got close to Chicky. Yeah.
Chicky. That's Chicky, and this is Bella.
Bella.
Good job.
And I got some extra snuggles from Chicky. Thank you, Margaret of Beacon Hill Dogs, for letting me interview you. I went to Boston, went to the Boston Marathon, thinking it was all about the run. Turns out, it's about so much more. All the funds that we're going to raise this week on YouTube, I'm going to be donating to 2 different charities. Number 1, a very well thought of animal charity called the Best Friends Animal Society. They run the largest no-kill animal sanctuary in the US. I also feel it's really important to support pet cancer research. I'm also going to donate to the Morris Animal Foundation. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a supporter. This is Dr. Andrew Jones. I see that Boston is a very pet-friendly city. There's dogs and people with dogs everywhere, and dogs running, and dogs even in the coffee shop, dogs in the hotel. Yes, it's a very dog-friendly city.
We are.
which is awesome. So one of the things, so I'm running the marathon, but in part we're also fundraising, and we're going to be donating for the week of all the proceeds that we get from YouTube. We're going to be donating to an animal society. It's called the Best